By now, I've been using this Hasselblad X2D along with their new-ish 35 to 100mm lens for well over 2 months, and I have some thoughts. However, I've been using this amazing camera and lens setup as part of a collaboration with Hasselblad, so yes, this video is indeed sponsored by Hasselblad, and so no, this is not an unbiased review. So think of it more so as a video to watch if you want somebody to talk you into buying a Hasselblad or explaining to you why this might be the right camera for you. Because I think it's a fantastic camera and it's been a long while since I've been this excited about any camera. It's not without its flaws though, and we are going to talk about a few of those in this video as well. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so in case you stumbled across this video and you've never heard of the X2D before, it is a high-end medium format camera with a 100 megapixel sensor that eats most other cameras for breakfast. It shoots 16-bit RAWs, so you get dynamic range for days. It sports an autofocusing system that uses face detect and LiDAR. You get 3 frames per second with continuous autofocusing, which doesn't sound like a lot, but with these gigantic files, that amounts to around 600 to 700 megabytes of data per second. Not to worry though, because not only do you get a CF Express card slot, but also 1 terabyte of internal memory, so it doesn't matter if you forget your card at home, you are always good to go. And you do of course also get that insane in-body image stabilization that allows for up to 10 stops of stabilization, which is just wild. And all of that is wrapped in a very unique and instantly recognizable design package. I wouldn't call it beautiful in the classical sense, but it is good looking nonetheless. It feels rugged and solid, and like there's a certain functionality that bred this aesthetic. I really like the new grip texture, and also just the fact that they blacked out the Hasselblad naming in the front looks a lot more fitting and stealthy this way. Oh, and by the way, the name Hasselblad is not just printed on here like it would perhaps be on another camera, it's carved into the body. The whole camera feels almost like a piece of art on its own, and so in that sense, I actually think it's one of the best looking cameras out on the market today. However, it doesn't just sort of look like a tank, but it also feels like one too. In part, that's just down to the size and weight, but I mean, it also just feels like a block of metal. It's solid. The X2D is handmade in Sweden and it screams premium camera from every angle you look at it. You get that gigantic, outrageously bright touchscreen display that puts just about all other camera displays to shame. The electronic viewfinder is a joy to use, and the shoulder display is a great way to check your most important settings at a glance. With its design and appearance, you might think that it would sound like a machine gun, but no. Far from it actually. The camera body itself doesn't even have a mechanical shutter, and so instead you get a built-in leaf shutter with Hasselblad's X2D lenses, and while they are not silent, they are pleasantly quiet, which in turn makes it easier to use for all kinds of occasions where you don't want to draw any attention to yourself as a photographer. Stuff like street photography, wedding photography, documentary photography, or just good old taking candid pictures at family gatherings. All in all then, this is a premium camera that sits at the top of the food chain. With all that praise out of the way, this camera is certainly not perfect. And so let's talk about what it cannot do. And the first one is pretty obvious because the Hasselblad X2D does not have a video mode. It is not a hybrid camera. Let me repeat that. The Hasselblad X2D does not shoot any video at all. It doesn't have a video mode. And so that alone will make it pretty much undesirable, if not unusable, for many people, including professionals out there who might have to shoot video for whatever it is that they are doing. Now, me personally, though, I do not care about that whatsoever. I mean, would I love to see Hasselblad also include a video mode into this camera? Well, I don't know. I certainly wouldn't mind it. But honestly, I also don't mind the fact that this is a purely photography-focused camera and that 0 compromises have been made so that this would also shoot video. Now, with that said, I actually do run this YouTube channel, which is a business. And so I actually kind of make a bit of money off of making videos, but personally I like to use cameras that specialize at whatever it is that they are doing, for the most part at least. So I have cameras that specialize more so in shooting video, and I have cameras like this Hasselblad X2D which are photography first cameras. And also for my particular situation, I mean, I'm shooting videos about me using cameras or, you know, doing photography or whatever. And so I need another dedicated video camera anyway. And so yeah, doesn't bother me at all. The X2D2 is also not a sports, action or wildlife camera, which should be obvious from the fact that this only shoots 3 frames per second tops. But on top of not being particularly fast, you also get some serious blackouts in the EVF in between those 3 frames, which makes following any fast moving subject borderline impossible, and the autofocusing system, while great in everyday type of scenarios, is just not fast enough to keep up with birds and stuff. And lastly, it's also not an everyday carry type of camera, it's just too big and too heavy and too bulky for that. And also, in my personal opinion, it also looks a bit too serious for that sort of stuff. There's just nothing casual about a camera that looks like this. So if you do, for whatever reason, want to daily carry a medium format camera, it's probably more appropriate to use something like this Hasselblad 907 X100C, which is a lot more compact, and yeah, it just looks a lot more casual as well. And so with that out of the way, why do I love this camera then? Well, I mean, simple, because the drawbacks that this camera has just don't bother me at all, while the strength of this camera really make photography just more enjoyable for me. The only drawback that I mentioned that actually usually bothers me is the size, and regular viewers will know that I am a sucker for a very competent small compact camera. But the size actually doesn't bother me on this one, because with this size, I actually, for the first time since I've last used a DSLR, I get really good ergonomics in a camera as well. I get a full 5-finger grip. It really, in that sense, almost feels a bit like a DSLR. It is solid in the hands, and that is so nice, because some of my full frame cameras that are not made to be compact in any way, shape or form just offer sort of a 4-finger grip, and I do not like that at all. Ergonomically speaking, I hate that, which is part of the reason why I don't really like using those cameras for photography as much. Also, just wanted to throw that in here. Yes, it's too big to be used as a daily carry camera for most people, but I have actually just thrown it into my small camera sling bag or my EDC backpack a number of times, and especially with the 35 to 100mm lens, I had all the versatility and image quality I could ever need ready to go at all times, and it certainly wouldn't be impossible to carry this with me on a daily basis. So in a way, I guess it would still work for that. Another benefit of a camera of this type is just that this is sort of a one and done camera. If you're not a gearhead like me and you just want to have a great camera that you can use for, I don't know, the next 5 years, 10 years, whatever it may be, I think a camera like this would be a great choice. I mean, I think it was in 2015 when the first 50-ish megapixel cameras for professionals and consumers were launched onto the market, there or thereabout. And the images that you would get out of those cameras would probably still hold up in today's environment, even though those cameras are by now 10, 11 years old. Back then, 50 megapixels was sort of unheard of. And the same is kind of true with this 100 megapixel sensor in here. And I actually do think that if you were to get a camera like this today, you would probably still get away with using this even 10 or more years down the road, and even in a professional environment. And not just that, because if you also get a lens like this 35 to 100mm lens, which is a 28 to 75, if I'm not mistaken, in full frame equivalent terms, this lens just does everything. It's your standard zoom lens, and that means that if you pair this lens with this body, you're pretty much good to go and good to do whatever. If I wasn't such a big gearhead, I would have no problem whatsoever bringing just this lens and camera body combo on even some once in a lifetime type of trips. Now, would I do that? Probably not, but that's just because I'm a gearhead and I also like to shoot primes, and so yeah, I would probably at least also bring that 55mm Hasselblad prime as well. But anyway, in conclusion then, this is a fantastic camera. It offers better image quality than I could ever ask for. It's certainly more capable than I am. Sadly, it does not make me a better photographer, but it does make the process of taking photos incredibly enjoyable, and it also just makes me want to go out and shoot more. It has the looks and personality to make me daydream about some wild photography adventure in Iceland or Africa. It might be overkill in some sense, but it's an unapologetic, no-nonsense, photography-first camera, and my god, it's a joy to use. Now personally, I hope that Hasselblad will also focus on expanding their lens lineup going forward, and that they will eventually give us like a proper telephoto zoom lens as well as some really fast primes. So here's to hoping, I guess, but for now I'm incredibly grateful for the setup that I got. So yeah, can't wait to use this some more. I got a bunch of trips coming up and summer's also just around the corner. And so yeah, can't wait to just go out and shoot with it some more. But that's all I got for you today. As always, thank you so much for watching, and a special thanks to Hasselblad again for sponsoring today's video and just for the incredible opportunity to work with them and to just get my hands on gear of this level. It's yeah, really just mind-blowing to me. And so now, if you will excuse me, I have to go and figure out how I can get myself one of those 20 to 35mm lenses as well for this setup. And I will see you guys in another video soon. Until then, take good care. Bye.